As I stood on the dock, gazing out at the eerie, abandoned cruise ship, I couldn't help but feel a shiver run down my spine. The Eternal Voyager loomed before me, its rusting hull and decaying decks a testament to the horrors that lay within. Yet, I was drawn to it, like a moth to flame. My friends and I had always been thrill-seekers, and the promise of exploring this haunted vessel was too enticing to resist. We boarded the ship, our laughter and chatter echoing off the walls as we made our way deeper into its belly. But as we delved deeper, the atmosphere began to shift. Strange symbols etched into the walls seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and the air grew thick with an unsettling feeling of being watched. We tried to brush it off as mere paranoia, but soon, the events became too intense to ignore. Doors slammed shut on their own, and ghostly apparitions flitted at the edges of our vision. Disembodied voices whispered in the darkness, their words indistinguishable, but their sinister intent clear. One of my friends went missing, and we frantically searched the ship from stem to stern. That's when we stumbled upon the hidden room. Deep in the ship's bowels, it was filled with ancient artifacts and strange relics that seemed to hold a dark power. But as we explored, the door slammed shut behind us, trapping us inside. The ship seemed to shift and change around us, leading us deeper into its labyrinthine corridors. We stumbled upon a dark altar where a twisted Gothic ceremony was taking place. The figures gathered around it turned to face us, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. We were forced to participate in the ritual, which unleashed a malevolent force that consumed my friends one by one. As the last survivor, I tried to escape, but the ship's dark energy was too powerful. It engulfed me, trapping me forever in the Eternal Voyager's hellish embrace. And so, I remain, a prisoner of the ship's eternal voyage, forever doomed to sail the seas of madness and terror. The Eternal Voyager will always be waiting for its next victims. As the submarine dove deeper into the dark, icy waters, the passengers felt a sense of excitement and trepidation. They had paid top dollar for this exclusive underwater tour, and the promise of exploring the ocean's depths was too enticing to resist. But as the vessel descended further, the crew's cheerful banter and the passengers' nervous laughter began to fade. The water pressure increased, the darkness outside grew thicker, and the silence became oppressive. Suddenly, the submarine lurched violently, throwing the passengers off balance. The captain's voice came over the intercom, his words laced with a hint of panic. "We've encountered an unexpected current. Please fasten your seatbelts and remain calm." But as the minutes ticked by, the submarine failed to level out. The passengers exchanged worried glances, their breathing quickening. The vessel was lost in the depths, and the crew seemed powerless to stop the descent. One by one, the passengers began to vanish. At first, it was dismissed as mere seasickness. But soon the reality became clear. Something was hunting them down in the darkness. The remaining passengers huddled together, their eyes fixed on the viewport as the submarine plunged deeper into the abyss. The water outside was a swirling vortex of blackness, punctuated by bioluminescent creatures that seemed to mock them with their ethereal glow. As the last passenger succumbed to the darkness, the submarine creaked and groaned, its metal hull protesting the crushing pressure. The viewport shattered, and the icy water flooded in, extinguishing the lights and plunging the vessel into total darkness. And so, the submarine remains, a ghostly presence in the depths, its passengers trapped forever in the abyssal descent. The sound of eerie whispers echoing in the darkness as the submarine's wreckage settles into the ocean floor, a haunting reminder of the horrors that lie beneath the waves. As I boarded the luxurious cruise ship, the Celestial Dream, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and anticipation. The ship was on its maiden voyage, and I was lucky enough to be one of the select few who had booked a ticket. The first few days of the cruise were everything I had hoped for. The ship was stunning, with its sleek design and opulent decor. The staff were friendly and attentive, and the food was exquisite. I spent my days lounging by the pool, taking part in activities like yoga and trivia, and enjoying the breathtaking views of the ocean. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. I started to notice that some of the passengers were acting strangely. They would disappear for hours at a time, and when they returned, they seemed different. Their eyes would be glazed over, and they would have a strange, far-off look in their eyes. At first, I thought it was just the usual cruise ship partying, but as the occurrences continued, I started to feel a sense of unease. I tried to brush it off as mere paranoia, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. One night, I decided to explore the ship and see if I could find any answers. I made my way down to the lower decks, where the crew quarters were located. As I walked through the narrow corridors, I started to feel a sense of dread. The air was thick with the smell of smoke, and I could hear strange noises coming from the cabins. Suddenly, I heard a loud bang, and the lights flickered. I was plunged into darkness, and I could feel my heart racing in my chest. I tried to find my way back to my cabin, but the corridors seemed to shift and change around me. I was lost. As I stumbled through the darkness, I started to hear strange whispers. They seemed to be coming from all around me, and they were speaking in a language I couldn't understand. I tried to ignore them, but they only grew louder and more insistent. Suddenly, the lights flickered back on, and I found myself in a strange, dimly lit room. The walls were adorned with strange symbols, and the air was thick with incense. A figure stood before me, its face hidden behind a mask. "Welcome, passenger," it said in a voice that sent shivers down my spine. "You should not have come here." As the figure began to move towards me, I realized that I was in grave danger. I tried to run, but my feet felt heavy, as if they were rooted to the spot. The figure reached out and touched my forehead, and everything went black. When I came to, I was back in my cabin, lying on my bed. The room was empty, and the ship was quiet. I stumbled out onto the deck, and that's when I saw it. The celestial dream was sailing through a sea of blood, and the sky was filled with strange, glowing clouds. I knew then that I had to get off the ship, but it was too late. The celestial dream was on a maiden voyage from which there was no return.